Hello.
It's Wednesday already.
It is. This week is going by really quick.
Month is going by really quick.
I know, though. I wish the allergy season would go by really quick. It has been horrible this year.
Well, if there's any truth to the thing that when you hear a locust for the first time in the summer, if you count 6 weeks, that's when you're supposed to get your first frost.
Huh.
So I heard a locust for the first time this past Sunday.
Well, sitting on my front porch, there's a cherry tree, and I forget what else across the street in the park. Some of the leaves are already turning.
This has been, I don't know, because of the extreme hot and then all the rain, but yeah, you can see leaves already. So it'll be interesting because that should be the first weekend in September. That seems like it's pretty early for a frost, but we'll see.
Yeah. I part of me is like, no, let's enjoy fall and actually have a late summer in the fall because I'm fall time fan. But I also want to get out of these allergies because I sound blah today because it's all sitting back here.
Yeah,
And the
you sound
sinus
stuffy. Yeah.
yeah, the sinus migraines are just my enemy this week. All right. Well, hello, Rebecca and Melanie. This is Romper Room time.
Yeah, right. What was it? The magic mirror? Romper, romper, dooby doo, or something like that. I forget what it
Romper,
was.
Stomper, but no, I just had it. Now it's gone. Robin and Amy. Hello, Wendy. Yay, see, Amy is on, no more allergy side with me.
Oh, okay.
Hello. We got quite a few friends with us. They're coming faster than I can scroll through here. So hello, everybody, if I missed you. Oh, this is hilarious. Willoughby Hills, best part of my Wednesday. Thank you, Natalie. Let's see. Oh, so good question. Says, my house is getting painted. Can I put my Quincy's directly on the doors instead of the walls?
No, stick them on the ceiling in front
Oh,
of the, because if you open your door, there would be space for something to come in. So that's why you never put them on the garage door. You put it on the frame of the door. So just put it on the ceiling. Paint dries so fast, probably within 20 minutes, you can move it right back to the top of your door.
let's see. Oh, friend Sandy, Lisa. Hello, everybody. Hello. Let's see. Yeah, Sandy agrees with the allergies. She's texted me a few mornings. She's like, "How's your head feeling?" I'm like, horrible. There we go. Romper Stompers Unite. Yay. Hello, Rhonda.
Long time ago.
Yes. There's not the Saturday morning cartoons like we used to have anymore. Like, do they even have cartoons on Saturday mornings for kids?
I don't know because the only cartoon I ever watched was Casper the Friendly Ghost. I never watched any other cartoons ever. My Ted does, the girls do. No, I watched Sky King and Zorro and the Lone Ranger. That's what I watched. I never watched cartoons.
I used to watch the Smurfs. Loved them as a kid. And I tried to watch it again as an adult. I'm like, how did I watch this? How did my parents tolerate me watching this? Oh, so let's follow up to that question. The ceiling's getting painted too.
Well, yeah, but they're not going to do everything at the same time.
True. So they're probably going to do one and then move.
Right. And if all else fails, use duct tape and paint it or tape it on the outside of the house above the door.
Okay. Hey, yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
So Diane has a question. Says, hi, I'm going to a group reading. Is it a good idea to encourage spirits to come forward?
As long as everybody's protected, you have white light around you, it's a positive environment, I would like to say that I would feel better if everybody had a quince seat on them, so you don't bring anything home with you. But that's pretty much all I can do. I don't know, and I don't want to know who the reader is. I don't need to know that. So that would be just be aware of that.
We have a lot of our friends who loved Casper and Zorro. Robin says MeTV still has them on every morning.
I know, and I still watch The Rifleman. I love it.
Yeah. Oh, and they have many cartoon channels. I'm just gonna have to look for them. Maybe when after my move is done and actually have some downtime, I'll have to find them.
I suppose you like the Three Stooges too.
Who, me? Scooges?
Yeah.
No.
Three Stooges.
I didn't really watch them.
No, those disgust me. I never watched them.
Let's see. Hello, Lewis, our buddy, joining us. Hello, Lewis. Well, remember, he's ahead in time.
That's right. That's right. I was going to say.
Yes. Oh, see, Amy loved the Smurfs too. I did, and though again, as an adult, and Fraggle Rock was the other thing that I would watch.
That is.
It was like a Jim Henson Muppet thing. They lived underground, and no, okay.
No. No, I like frogs. I collect frogs, but I don't even like Kermit. So, and the pigs got to go. So.
Okay, so Jules says, any suggestions on how to develop our own abilities to communicate with angels and those that have passed on?
You know what? If you can take classes on anything or read as much as you can, and just keep this in mind, who's ever teaching the class, whatever they're teaching works for them. When you read a book, whatever you read, it is working. That's what worked for the author. Take half of what somebody's teaching you or that you're reading and throw half of it out and save the half that you think is important or that you could use. And that's the whole thing, is just keep on trying and trying and trying. And Melissa, you've got classes. Do you still have classes online from the store?
Yeah, we have the development circle, and we've actually started doing that one back in person again. But if we have somebody from out of state, reach out, and then we'll give you a Zoom link to be able to join in, just because
seriously, I think the best way to get into that frame of mind is seriously learn how to meditate correctly. And if you can get yourself in that zone, it would help.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Can spirits mess with the Quincy charms? We've had 2 go missing. One off of my son, and my spare is gone as well.
Absolutely not. They cannot touch them. Now, are you sure that you don't have wee folk in the house, or because they're not dead? They can absolutely touch the charms.
They do like shiny things.
Yes, they do.
Well, hello, Judy and Mike from Solon. So Deborah says, good morning. Curious, how do we purchase a mugwort sleep bag? And is the lava buttons written down somewhere? So you actually, on your website, is where they can order mugwort.
The mugwort, that's right. It's on the website. And there is very detailed information on how to do the law of abundance, which, by the way, is August 8th is the next new moon, and it peaks Eastern Standard Time at 9:50 a.m., which isn't so hard to, after midnight, but before 9:50 a.m. But definitely, you could even print out, if you have a printer, you can even get a check to write. You don't even have to make your own.
I just get a legal pad and cut it into little yellow squares. And oh, Karen, Fraggle Rock. Robin Neff was a fan of the Roadrunner. Those were fun.
Like the Roadrunner. What was Fraggle Rock? I like that.
Yeah, the little Jim
No,
Henson.
wait, no, it was no, that's not Fraggle. It was the one that talked. It was the one about the ABCs. Oh, cripe. Prepositions. Conjunction, junction. Thank you. You watched that? Okay, Ted. Conjunction, junction. Yeah.
Her daughters did.
Oh, our daughters did. So he just happened to be in the same room and they were watching it. There you go.
Hey, I mean, Dad's got to get in some Saturday morning cartoons too. So here's a good question. Are there ever earthbound spirits in the woods? So if you're out going through the Cleveland metro parks, if you're in the Cleveland area or any metro park, what are the odds that there's earthbounds hanging out in the woods?
I have to say, in our area, unless you live close to Lake Erie, I would say no. But keep in mind, Native American Indians, they all don't go to the light. A lot of them stay to take care of Mother Earth. So any earthbound spirits that I have ever seen as far as humans go are usually Native American. They're not, they're not, they're there to watch the earth. And yes, the same thing if you've got a St. Bernard or a dog that's over 50 or 60 pounds, of course they can get energy from an animal. You got a couple Chihuahuas running around. Yeah, not so much.
They're little.
Yeah, tiny bitty. No.
Oh, so Lewis says, I always fall asleep when I meditate, so I gave up out of annoyance. Is this normal or am I doing it wrong?
Try to do it when you're not tired. A lot of people try to do it right before they fall asleep at night. Wrong. Get up in the morning, have your coffee, shower, and then meditate when you're awake. Mm-hmm. Give yourself, and don't do it for a half hour. Start out 5 or 6 or 7 minutes. Just do it little increments. But don't do it when you're tired because, yes, you'll fall asleep. And you could have really bizarre dreams doing that too.
Yeah, because, a lot of us, we run, right? We're on the run constantly. So we tend to think our only downtime to try and do this is in the evening before bed. So trying to carve out that little bit of time when you're not tired. And if that's still kind of a challenge, because it's weird. Sometimes when you finally let your body slow down enough to go into that, you are so tired that your body just wants to go to sleep, even if you don't feel tired. So sometimes things like walking meditations are a way to start because they're rhythmic, left, right, and, thinking that or counting, and trying to stay in that empty mind space. And if you catch your thoughts going to your mundane, like I got to do the laundry, I got to do this, just go, okay. And then come back to just that sense of quietness while you do that. And then you kind of get a sense of what you're supposed to be in. So when you're sitting there later, try to hold that space while sitting and meditating and not falling asleep. Don't allow yourself to be too comfortable either.
And I have never found incense to be helpful for me when I started doing this. But the right music can help too if it's in the background.
Mm-hmm. There's some really nice, like subliminal, like Stephen Halpern or Kelly Howell, that purposefully have music. And some of them, I think it's the Kelly Howell Brain Sync, where you're supposed to listen with headphones because certain notes are triggered on either side of the brain to get the synapses or whatever to fire a certain way. But then they also have ones for studying, for memory recall, for anxiety. But it helps get you in that theta brainwave.
Come a long way in 50 years.
Yeah, science is starting to catch up with us woo-woo. Oh, yep, everybody loves Schoolhouse Rock. Let's see. Oh, okay. So Rhonda says, my extra charm went missing and I'm hoping it will reappear if the wee folk are responsible. Can we offer a treat for its return?
Yeah, you could try putting out honey milk or That would probably be the best, putting a little bit of honey in a little bit of milk in a saucer and putting it out. That they might turn around and give it back to you because they really like that. I like really, and if you put a little bit of cinnamon in it, they even like it better.
I like cinnamon too. um, Hello, Brooke. Glad you could join us. So Melody says, just wondering if there's a way for us to undo any cursing we have sent to others. Want to know how to take responsibility for putting negativity onto others.
You know, if this was something you did years ago and you didn't reinforce it, you know, when some people do this, they reinforce it daily, weekly, monthly, yearly. If you haven't done that and you didn't put the negative energy on somebody with the big instructions on how to do it, and you know what, it probably isn't even on them anymore. So I really wouldn't want to do it. If you're not putting curses on people for a living, don't worry about it. It's not work. I mean, there are little storefronts you can go into and have somebody put a curse on somebody. That is their living. But if you're not in that line of work, do not worry about it.
So how long do the quince seeds work?
They work forever. They've gone through the washer, dryers, especially in the dream bags, because the dream bags go between the pillowcase and the pillow. So in the beginning, you're aware of it, but you know, when you're ripping your pillows out of your pillowcase and you throw them in the washer, you don't even think about it. But they go through washer and dryer. They do not. They've been smashed, and I mean, some of them are really, really, you can tell. Shoot. Wait a minute. Where am I? Here. These are smashed here. And they work 100%. That's why it doesn't make any difference what they look like smashed on the back of your driver's license or smashed on your phone under the case. It does not make any difference. They just work forever.
Which is nice. Really nice. So Sarah asks, can you see ghosts in the movies like you do on Zoom? Any popular films with the extras in there?
No, I cannot. And everybody talked about...
Are you going to say three men and a baby?
3 Men and a Baby. That's exactly right. And I guess you could see feet behind that drape. I guess. I don't know. You know, sometimes I think if you stare at something long enough, you can, it's like when you look at a cloud, you could make it into anything you really think you want to see. So from being on the Ghost Whisperers set, yes, those places are absolutely full. But look at the energy, the high intensity, anxious. Do I know my lines? I don't want to do that. Look at the lousy outfit they put me in. It's one thing or another. So no, definitely studios are full of ghosts. But that's the only one that I think I remember hearing about was 3 Men and a Baby.
Yeah, and I heard, oh, it was true. And then I heard, no, it was like a cardboard standout that they tried to hide last minute before filming. I really am not sure what the definitive answer was on that one. Because around that time, at least for me, is also when learn supposedly there's a scene in The Wizard of Oz, and I think it's right after she picks up the Tin Man and they're walking down, you see in the distance like somebody swinging from a noose, and supposedly one of the little munchkin guys went up there and like hung himself, and you can see the shadow of it. So I'm like, well,
never heard of that either.
Yeah. But if I remember right, they're walking away from you down the yellow brick road, and you can kind of see it off in the distance. I'm sure if you Google it, you'll find it. Yeah. I think that was the beginning of like the whole, like, not quite conspiracy theory, but the whole like hidden things in movies that was coming around. And then it turned into the Disney things with the inappropriate things in Disney that you would find, like the phallus on the Little Mermaid castle on the first run of movies that came out. In The Lion King, when Simba flops down on the edge and the dust swirls, it supposedly spells sex really quick. And, like,
Can't people just watch something and enjoy it and not go into details?
right. Well, I'm like, who has time to frame by frame these movies?
Yay.
Okay. Um, when Ghosts Speak, you don't really go over wee folk in that one, right?
No, not in any of the books I have. I don't have enough knowledge to write a book on them. Anything that I've learned about them has been through experience over the years. And there are people that are definitely knowledgeable about it. And I'm sure, well, Melissa, you mentioned somebody a couple of weeks ago, a book that's written that he's very good about it. And I do not remember his name, and I put you on the spot.
Right. I believe it was, we were talking about Brian Froud.
Yes.
It's kind of like an artworky book, but he goes over like the Selkies and all of these different beings of the Fae folk and like what to do, what not to do. Like they like this, they hate this. And that book's been around forever. And I think it's gotten more of a reputation for just, it's a pretty art because it's very watercolory.
Oh, okay.
But there's, when you start reading some of these other actual practitioner books, and when they're referencing, like, it's rehashing info that was in his book. So I don't know if he really put it out there to be like, this is how you work with Fae. I think it was kind of like, here's all kinds.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I said, I know I got, after we did the thing on the fairies, I've gotten quite a few letters. I just got one the other day, and she said, my husband and I were walking in the woods after the last bad rain, and she says there was a circle of mushrooms that were in one particular spot. And she said, of course, my husband doesn't believe in any of this stuff. And so he kept saying to me, go ahead, get in the middle of it. Let's see if it makes you disappear or something. And it's like, so people really have the wrong idea. The only thing that is on my website is the recipe to get rid of them. That does work, but it's time consuming and you have to do it.
It's work. It's not just a one.
It is work, no doubt about it, but they are a pain in the butt. And if you want them gone, that's what you have to do.
So Lewis asks, when you watch TV shows about ghost hunters with their equipment in the dark, is it the spirit actually interacting with them, or are the ghost hunters actually picking things out of the air?
Lewis, you just know how to ask the right questions to get me going, don't you?
Stirring.
I have no idea what those cameras do. I don't know. I have no idea what they're seeing, what they're hearing. I don't know. That would make me crazy if I couldn't just walk into a room and see them and talk to them. If I had to set up all that equipment, I have more questions than probably you do. Why do they have to do it at night? Ghosts go all day. I don't go at night and clear houses. I do it during the day when it's sunny outside. And so Larry King put one of the ghost hunters in their place when I was on his show with ghost hunters. And after Larry asked me what I could do and how I could do it, the one guy that was sitting next to me was one of the plumber guys, Grant, whoever he is. And I remember Larry looking at him and saying, what are you doing here? Because I said every time Larry was asking me something, this Grant, you don't have to take any equipment in? Nope. And you can see them all the time. Yep. And you can get rid of them? Yep. And you can't. Yep. So no, that is a line of work that has gotten very popular in the last 15, 16 years.
Yeah. Well, and there's been so many of the TV shows too that were based on it that later other people that were part of the cast that have come out, and like some of that was sage, it was exaggerated.
Even The Ghost Whisperer, only 4 sentences each week were true. The rest was all Hollywoodized. It's entertainment. And yes, reality TV. How do you walk into a grocery store with a man carrying a microphone over the top of you and another man having a camera on his shoulder and walk up to somebody and tell them they've got their aunt attached to them? How is that reality TV when you've got a cameraman and a microphone over the top of your head?
Right.
What's real about that? Nothing.
Well, and that also, for those in the community, like there's code of ethics, and you don't just walk up to people and start delivering messages because maybe they aren't ready to hear that, and you don't know that without asking permission first. So,
you know how many times I've been in a restaurant and seen a ghost attached to somebody? There's no way. If I went up to somebody, they'd hit me at the side of the head and call the cops. This is a crazy lady. What is she doing here? And so, no, you just don't do things like that.
No,
I'm not a fan of that at all.
Well,
the other thing I'm not a fan of is people scaring people.
Right.
You know, I don't think scaring people is a horrible thing to do. You can talk to somebody and tell them what's going on and not have him running out of the house, which they've done. But, you know, it's not normal.
No. And it's just one of those things, like, you know, the reader thinks that they're helping by giving this unsolicited message. And I'm like, you're not. Just don't. If anything, like, can I give you a message from? And then if they say no, you shut your mouth, you say, I'm sorry, and you walk away. You don't press the issue. But it's a code of ethics, and not everybody has them. Rambling and ranting. Okay. Next question. There was a question and it jumped on me again about, have you seen aliens that look human? Because the person asking has gotten certain types of feelings from some people, and, you know, they're trying to kind of figure out, are they more alien than human?
Personally, I believe when they take your body and you lose your period of time and they're taking fluids from you, I'm guessing they're taking all kinds of fluids from you. And yes, I really think that they're using the fluids from males or females to mix with their own kind. And I believe there are probably tons of them walking around on this earth. I really, truly believe that. And at some point when there's the awakening or whatever you want to call it, you know, they'll know. But I'm going to guess that more than half of them, if not 3/4 of them, don't even know they're alien.
Mm-hmm. Do you feel like when you walk up on one of these people, do you get a feeling or a sense that you're kind of like,
You know, you hear people say, and I'm going to go with an example again. There's a little family restaurant that we would go sometimes when we lived where we used to live and have breakfast. And this guy walked in, and it's mom and pop place, maybe 20 tables and the whole thing small. He walked in, and he had gruffy clothes on, but he was clean. And he walked up to the counter, and we couldn't hear what he was saying, but the girl shook her head no. So he starts stopping at different tables, and his truck broke down. It was at the gas station, catty corner from this restaurant, and he needed $45 to get his truck fixed so he could go home. And he was asking somebody to lend him $45 so that, and give me your address and I'll mail it back to you. Every table that he went to. So he came up to our table, and Ted went in his pocket and gave him $50. He said, don't worry about it. He said, just use it. So the guy thanked him and everything, and he said, I will leave it. I'll come back and leave it here at the restaurant for you. Ted said, no, no, don't bother. We were almost done eating. We saw him take the money. We saw him walk out the door. We were standing up. Ted was paying our bill. We walked out to our car. We were going in the same direction where the gas station was. No truck, no man, no nothing. Ted has himself convinced that was an angel and that he just helped the man and did a good deed. There, like I said, there was no truck, there was no man walking, and he couldn't have gotten across a 4-lane highway with the light without us seeing him. And why not? Your guardian angel could be walking around on the earth too. Who knows?
That's true.
So why not aliens?
There's been a couple people, I'm not going to say names, but the one gentleman, Marion, you've met him, you've seen him at our expo. And at the end of the expo, just watching this person kind of run around. And I'm like, you, sir, are not human. Like, the human body does not move in that way. It looks normal, but it doesn't. And he'll be like, oh, yeah. And a lot of his healing work that he ends up doing for his clients is, he's like, oh, you are not completely human. Your body's reacting this way. This is why when people try normal Reiki, it doesn't work or it makes it worse. Or he's like, because you're wired differently. And this is what we need to do. And people love him for that because he can see and work that way.
He very may will be something else. That's a possibility. How do we know that the great healers of the world or the great theologians of the world weren't half something else? And that's where all this information came from. Mm-hmm. I mean, let's face it, when the pyramids and that stuff were built, I mean, just the amount, how did these people that had nothing even make those things? Somebody had to be a whole lot smarter than them.
Right. There was a question about, can earthbounds affect your dreams at all?
Yes, they cannot get in your dreams. No earthbound spirit can, but if they're in the bedroom when you're sleeping, you will have absolutely bizarre dreams. Loud, technicolor. I mean, you will wake up and your heart will be pounding because it's like something really woke you. But they're not in your dream. They're just making you have bizarre dreams.
And so there was also the question that said, if they have their quinceañeras, how do they make sure that when they go up that the spirit is actually gone versus just trap them in?
That's why you call or you get on Zoom.
Yeah, because on the Zoom, it's pretty instantaneous.
That's right. And there was the last Zoom, the gal did lose a seed and put up one of the extra ones I had left her. And she did have somebody trapped in the house, remember?
Mm-hmm.
So, and she was one of the first ones we talked to. So she got off Zoom with us, left her little box, and came back on. She took the seed down, and he was anxious to go. As soon as she took that seed down, he was out of there. And absolutely, she put the seed back up. So no. And they get really angry when you trap them. So you don't want to do that.
And then the snarky side of me is like, well, quit coming in my house uninvited anyway. You wouldn't be trapped.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that'll work.
Yeah.
They can see you, but you can't see them. Yeah, good for you.
Diane says, we'll definitely be ordering another quinceañera. I've had 3 and all have gotten lost.
I don't understand how people are losing them.
Well, maybe there's more of them pesky little fae folk running around, and
maybe there's more than I think. There's no way. I mean, there's just no way to keep them. They can't. A ghost can't get 3.5, 4 feet close to you with it. So it's definitely not a ghost doing it. Maybe it is. Maybe it is the little folk. I don't know where. Or this many people can't be careless. I mean, if your teenager was losing it every 3 weeks, then I'd go, yeah, well, but not so many of you. That doesn't make any sense.
Right. That's just, I have to think on that. Like, what keeps fairies away and how do you attach it to the seeds?
This is where, I mean, I don't want something or somebody to be dead, but if they were dead, it would work.
Mm-hmm.
But they're alive. And I just don't, like I said, beside the solution and keeping them out of your house, I don't know what else to tell you.
Oh, hello. You get to join us. Question says, were any of the actual ghosts laughing or making fun of stories that were being filmed on The Ghost Whisperer?
Yes, anytime I was on the set and they were doing something really crazy with a ghost, and if a ghost was standing right there, they're just shaking their head like, you gotta be kidding me. They're really gonna do that. And another one, when there was a bad car accident, the one ghost was going, I couldn't do that if I wanted to. So yeah, it was the whole 5 years was like that. The whole 5 years.
Now, were you able to get any suggestions from any of the ghosts for a storyline or like a rewrite? Like, the ghost actually has a better idea of how to do this.
I know that the one ghost kept telling me to tell Love that it was the episode. Golly. Apparently, you can look into a mirror and say, Mary, Mary, something or other. There's supposed to be something that you can do. One of the episodes was like that. And the ghost was saying, well, if this was real, she's doing it wrong. You should tell her to do it this way. And so I walked over to the director and I said something. He looks down and he goes, no, it's in the script. We're going to do it the other way. So you just learn not to say anything.
Wow. Well, then they would have to put an accreditation to the ghost in the.
Yeah, right, exactly. And it was hard enough to get my name on the credits.
Right. When you were showing the crushed seeds, Wendy asked, would you consider selling a quince seed that's been crushed on a laminated card? Just an idea to add to husbands' or sons' wallets.
No. I wouldn't give somebody a crushed seed, no. Because putting it in a man's wallet or putting it on the back of a case on a cell phone, it's going to crack it anyway. So what's the difference?
Oh, yeah. So it was the Bloody Mary episode.
That was it. Yeah. Yeah. And she apparently was doing something wrong. I mean, there was a story that involved something I did. They threw in the Mary Mary thing. I can't even believe that somebody thinks that works.
So Lewis wants to know what your opinions are on ley lines. Those supernatural lines in the ground are supposed to be supercharged and almost like battery lines.
Right. People have said that they've been told that their house or property is on one of those that meet or cross. And apparently that's supposed to be not a really good thing. I don't have enough knowledge on that. It's like using a dowsing rod. I don't have enough knowledge on stuff like that. I don't know. I guess there's energy out there, and I guess it can be channeled any which way, but I don't really know about that. I don't know if you know anything about that, Melissa.
I know that some of the big, what's the term? Big sites like Stonehenge, the pyramids are all supposedly on ley lines, and they're on the same meridian lines. And it's been something that's interesting, but not interesting enough for me to like delve into it and really get going.
There was a time period about 5 or 6 years ago people were going to see psychics and getting readings and for whatever. And I noticed two things that popped up. People would come to me and say, well, she said this because I'm on this ley line. And okay. Or the other thing that I found that was really popular at the time is, oh, you have a ghost attached to you from a past life. I almost came to the conclusion that if the psychic or the reader got nothing, this is just what they were telling people. Because I have yet defined a ghost over 70 years now that was a ghost to a live person in our time that was a ghost when they were in a past life. I have never seen that, ever. So I don't know. It's like, and I'm sure I'm going to get jumped on this, but it's like almost when a doctor can't find something wrong with you physically, you automatically must have a mental problem, go see a psychiatrist. And that's not the case. Keep doing the right tests and look for it. So, and I think that's sort of part of it.
I'm chuckling because I'm reading back, seeing if I've missed anything. And, Lewis says, I refuse to leave the house past 9 p.m. regardless of the living or the dead. And I'm like, me too, because I'm old and I'm tired. I don't want to do anything.
Well, Lois, you're pretty convinced they can't get in. Good for you.
Right. And Brooke brings up a really good point. She's like, I've always wondered why reality TV needs so many writers.
Very good, Brooke. Thank you. Exactly right.
And then, he also said, oh my God, Larry Keane just coming for the plumber's career. And there's some conversation going on about DNA and, alien, back to the alien people. Rhonda says, with so many taking DNA tests now for family history, you think that the mystery DNA would show up and how they would explain that.
But think about it. If this has been happening for years and years and centuries, why would not they think that this is normal for DNA?
Especially if we're just now, this is still kind of new science for us.
That's exactly right.
So, I did 23andMe and I've got like a 1% that's still like a year and a half, 2 years later, still unassigned. And I'm like, oh, there's my alien, which I find hilarious because, being female, it tracks like my female side, right? So I'd have to have my dad go spit in his little cup and send it off. And my mom's side was one of the typical, we have Native American. And I'm like, we are Scandinavian, German. I'm like, I am more African American, Nigerian than... There's like a point smidge of Asian Native. I'm like, we are more Black than we are Native. Y'all liars.
Well, yeah, but don't forget, Melissa, you can be African and not be Black.
True. Well, no, but just how they were swearing that we're Native and we should have our card. No. No.
No.
Like, and I've got one side, somebody paid to have like the lineage and all the names traced, and they're 2 big, huge volumes of the Wintermutes. And I'm like, well, there's that German side. And I'm like, and nowhere in there is there mention of anybody.
Yeah.
Like your own history says.
Right.
Lewis, stirring the pot some more. Have you ever had to go clear up a psychic or ghost hunter's mess?
I started doing it and then I stopped doing it because all the calls I were getting was, well, I had this group come out and now it's 10 times worse. I can't clean up people's messes. I have enough of people calling me that have messes without adding this on top of it. So and I don't even know if that is still on there or not, but it used to be that if you've had a group come out and clear your house and you still have a problem, call them back and tell them to come back and do it right, because I'm not coming. I can't. And of course, the COVID stopped all of that anyway, because who was doing houses anyhow? But and apparently there are some ghost hunters that were still doing it during COVID, and they messed up then too. So I'm getting calls now for people that had somebody come out in November, December, January, and it made it worse. Call them up, tell them to come back out.
Oh, a lot of people remembering the Bloody Mary from school. And I remember like when I was little, it was like you were supposed to primarily do it in school bathrooms. Like you turn off the light in the school bathroom and you would do it. And there was that Candyman movie came out like in the 90s.
With the teenage girls. Yeah. I remember that movie.
That was actually somewhat based off of a true crime incident.
Right.
You know,
girls, yeah.
Because that lady, like they had that space in the walls. I know we were all amazed about the razor slit, right? So some of these old apartment complexes actually had big spaces between them, and you would pull the door out of the bathroom, and that's how the plumber would get in to fix your piping. And then they could turn around and push the mirror through in the other bathroom and get into the other apartment.
That's right.
And that's a couple of drug dealers did that, went and killed an old lady in her apartment. And that became a whole fiasco in the Caprini Green apartment complex, I think in Chicago. And that's some of the basis for that movie, The Candyman. And then you add in the Bloody Mary mix to it, and voila.
Maybe I didn't know enough about that or anything about that, because if we had turned the lights off in the Johns in school, the nuns would have flown down on us like bats out of the trees. Believe me, never would have happened.
You know, it's like I'm more afraid of living people, like nuns with rulers, than I am.
And you couldn't have a can of hairspray in Catholic high school, so believe me.
Man, let's see. Jules says, after sprinkling my dog's ashes in the river she swam in, we later felt this huge warm wind blow through us. I truly felt it was her spirit leaving. What do you think?
Yeah, that's a possibility. They can give you a sign too. And just like people that have crossed over will come into dreams, your animals, your pets will come into dreams too. Yes, absolutely.
Oh, we have a new friend. Hello. Thank you for joining. And we do this every Wednesday. So join us and you can go back and listen to our old ones. And where can I buy some of the quinces?
You have to go to my website. The quinces are not sold loose. The loose ones are given to people when I come out and do their house. But the charms all have the seed in them. The dream bag has the seed in them. So if that's what you want, that's where you need to go. And there it is.
Marion, I think you've answered this one a couple times. Have you ever had an earthbound that just wouldn't leave you alone after they found out you could hear or see them?
No, they've come to me, especially a DEA agent. He came to me when he was murdered. But I've never had one not leave me alone. And seriously, if it came to that, I guess for a while I would keep a seat on me to see that they couldn't get close to me. But, you know, when you can talk to them and see the reflection and the rolling of the eyes and everything, you know, keep in mind they have the same personality they had when they were alive. And so, no, I've never really had that problem. Thank God.
Let's see. Did you watch the movie The Sixth Sense?
Oh, yes.
So Lewis wants to know what you thought about it.
I thought whoever was the person on the set that gave them the information was really good. I don't know why they had people hanging from ceilings and puking under beds and being bloody and gory, but it's entertainment. But yet there were, you know, they tried to put in when the ghost was around, when he was under the sheet, under the chairs, how all of a sudden it was cold and you could see his breath. So they did a lot of things that could happen, but they did a lot of things that didn't happen too. But again, it's entertainment.
Pat asks, what happens when you I think it's supposed to say aren't able to get a ghost to leave a house. Do they? Blah, blah, blah. What happens when you can't get a ghost to cross over? Might they hang around the neighborhood to go still see the family? Are they pestering the neighbors? Are they kind of like,
when I come to a house and talk to the ghosts, they have two options. One, after I get all the information that the homeowner wants or can get for them, I will make that bright white light that they lost and watch them walk into it, and they're where they're wanting to be. But they still have to want to do that. I can't grab them and throw them in. Sometimes I get lucky and I can trick them to going in, but it's still their choice. Then and they go, well, I'm not leaving. Ha, ha, ha. It's like, well, ha, ha, ha. I'm going to put seeds up everywhere and you're never going to be able to get out.
So you can play that game.
None of them want to stay. They like it because they have the freedom to come and go as they please. So they don't like that. So they will walk out and the seeds will go up. They get a little angry. Sometimes they'll come back to the house and kick on the front door or bang on the roof. But that takes so much energy. But that's exactly what they'll do. They'll go to another house on the street, go to a mall, go to a stadium. It's summer, baseball games, they're all on again. You can get all kinds of energy from a stadium.
Let's see. So Mary Jo says, could the woman that comes and goes in my house when I don't smudge often enough or well enough cause problems between my adult kids and I?
Absolutely. Any ghost that can come in and cause difficulties between family members, look at the energy that's going out when you're arguing with somebody or you're disgusted with somebody or you don't understand them. You're anxious, you're stressed out, then you're depressed. That's all energy that they are sucking up on. That's why there are so many divorces because of ghosts.
Okay, so Lornell, like there's a few of these, and I'm hoping I'm going to be able to find them quick enough to get it all to flow. Says, I've experienced one time a clear vision of a portal in my room. It looked like a cobweb curtain over the door. And then she says that like near that spot, her son had committed suicide. Could that be the reason why that opened? Yeah,
that would be something very negative, and that is violent. And yes, that absolutely could have blown open a portal. And when I look into a portal, all I see is a swirling black. I don't see a forest or trees or anything like that. But in that is how you are perceiving what that looks like inside. So yeah, now you need to cross your fingers and hope that your son, after he killed himself, didn't go in that portal, that he stayed and went to his funeral and went into the light like a normal person, because that would mean he hasn't crossed over. So, and that you would really want him to be crossed over.
Should she consider herself psychic, or was that like a one-time thing, seeing it?
You know what? I think with the emotional stress you were under with the death of your son and everything else, I think that was probably just something that appeared to you. Maybe, actually, if you think about it, you're asking questions. It gave you some kind of a sighting, some kind of a knowledge. And you were right. Again, like I told the other lady, try to develop it if this is something you want to do.
Mm-hmm. Lewis, have you ever came across someone who enjoyed being a ghost, going anywhere in the world, never aging, dressing however they want? Seemed like a pretty good deal.
And that is exactly why some people stay. That's exactly why.
So Rhonda's asking 23andMe. Yeah, it does one side, the Y-DNA or mDNA separately. So since, me being female, it does the female line. So like if I get my dad to spit in his little cup and send it off, they'll be able to match me to him. and say, here's your dad and here's some more of his DNA. And I wish I would have had his mom do it before she passed, just for giggles, because my mom's dad has been gone for many years. So it would have been nice to kind of branch out a little further on both sides. But it's pretty interesting. I did 23andMe because I wanted the medical history report, because certain things run in the family and they can test for some of them. So like Parkinson's, I don't have the markers for Parkinson's. And I'm like, whew, that's great. So, but it's an interesting thing. But I have that 1% that's like unassigned. It's been,
I don't know. My girls did it, and same mother, same father, and it's pretty amazing how there's similarities between their two reports, but yet there's some big differences too between them, which I don't understand why that would be. But I've never done it. I figure I know where all my relatives came from. I know where all Ted's relatives came from. We've never done it.
I mean, it was interesting and it's fun. And now they, at least for 23andMe, it's like $60 a year if you want to pay for this extra, for an extra set of reports. But they'll do things like how fast your metabolism is for certain types of medications. So, you know, and I've been considering getting my son's done because, you know, we've tried a few different things for him for his ADD. And like one of the things they can test is for like mood and stability medications. And it'll say this group, your body just rips it right through. And so it's not going to be as effective because it won't stay in your system. It just processes it way too quickly. So, because his father did the 23andMe and paid for that, and he showed me the report. He's like, show that to his doctor. It's, you know, so there's a whole new round of sets that they can do, which is pretty interesting. Ooh, we have not talked about this before, I don't think. Do you believe in the whole star seeds?
Okay, somebody better give me a definition of what that is. I have no idea.
To me, I almost consider the same thing as the half alien coming down, but
okay.
Kind of like the Federation, you know, the Star Alliance Federation and the Star Seeds and
okay. So no, I don't know anything about that. No. Nothing. No, nothing.
Right. I kind of group it all together myself. I don't really separate the two.
I figure aliens are aliens. I you know, if you said you did watch the Alien TV show.
Oh, Resident Alien. That was hilarious.
And it would be crazy if everybody was actually an octopus, wouldn't it?
You know, that actor.
I remember seeing him in anything else.
Shoot.
Here I knew something he was in.
A Knight's Tale. He was in A Knight's Tale way back when. And a few other things that people were listing, because Sandy actually watched it from your recommendation before me, and she helped finish twisting my arm. She's like, I promise you'll love it. But I'm like, I know it's sci-fi and most of their stuff's hokey. I can't get into sci-fi. She's like, I promise. And she was right. So yay, Sandy.
And this was the only year. The new season is starting in March with 20 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
And I was kind of, I mean, it's one of the few shows that I actually laughed out loud while watching it. And the one-liners.
I know it. And I mean, just ask my girls. I have no sense of humor. They tell me that every day. So, but I do laugh at that.
I would text Sandy just random one-liners. She's like, I know what episode you're on. That was hilarious. Though I think my favorite, and I don't know why, was where he was in the bathroom next to the guy, and he's just like, do you shiver when you pee? He's like, sometimes. Like, this is hilarious. Oh, good question about reincarnation. When humans reincarnate, do they always come back in the same soul groups that they had in their previous lives, or does the group change?
No, you come back in your same group because you've got to make sure you're 100% good with everybody that's in your group. So, but again, you don't always come back as a male or a female. Your mother could be your best friend in the next life. Your father could be your son in the next life. Your husband could be your wife in another past life. So, no, you do absolutely come back. That's why I keep saying I have to come back and do my mother-in-law again at some point.
Trying to think, do I need to come back? I really don't want to come back.
You don't have to. You can take a nice long break. I am.
I'm going to
I'm
another
not coming
planet.
back till they get the world right. I don't want to come back and see this crazy world again.
I'm going to go somewhere else on vacation. I'm not coming back here. So Julie, hey Julie, one of our local buddies, how do you know the difference between an alien spirit or ghost? Do aliens have ghosts?
I've never seen an alien spirit, so I don't know.
Or
Can't answer that.
Would their spirit go back to their home planet? Because that's where home is, or where they're comfortable at, or
I'm thinking that they would probably stay where they lived. So they would be, they're trying to incorporate them into the human population. So they would keep them, I think they would bury them human, just like everybody else.
No dinosaur ghosts, no alien ghosts.
Still haven't seen them either yet. And like I said, if I was going to see them anywhere, I would have saw them at the tar pits in California, and I didn't see one dinosaur ghost at the tar pits. What's it called, La Alhambra or something? Tar pits? La Brea. Okay.
La Brea. Oh, another TV show I did mention, Patrick's The Fort Salem last week, and it is awesome. It's a good one. I think the second season's getting ready to come out, but that's on Freeform. So the guy who is in Resident Alien, Brooke, says he does a lot of voice acting for Disney.
He's got a nice voice. I could see that. Okay.
His facial expressions and the way he would walk stiffly, like, how did he maintain that?
He's not a good looking person, but he fits this so perfectly. And yet there's something about him that you just love. Mm-hmm. He's not Clark Gable, that's for sure, but he's, that he's good for this part. He really is.
I just kept thinking, like, the people in town, they would be like, he's odd, but nobody was like, something not right about him. This man's creepy. They're just like, it was endearing.
Well,
his weirdness.
Look at the other people that live in that town. They're all creepy.
They're in the middle of nowhere. Weren't they like in Alaska or something? So, I mean, what do they have to compare with?
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, and Brooke says he was in Firefly as well. So that's his name, Tudyk. I
didn't even know that was his name. Thanks, Brooke.
Let's see. Oh, so Lewis says, I heard some stories about people who tried to astral project to Area 51 but got blocked by some astral bubble things surrounding the area. The same goes for the moon. Do you know anything about this? Hey, Ted travels astral. Has he gone to the moon?
He has gone to the moon. He's been to other planets and he's never been blocked. So I don't know. Just like I think it's definitely a lie that you have to have the cord wrapped around your waist or you never come back to your body. Really? No. That's just, what's her name? Shirley MacLaine. That's her little fling. You have to. Don't even get me started on Shirley MacLaine.
That's like that voice of trivia knowledge behind the camera.
Yeah. It's like, no. Shirley MacLaine and I don't get along very well.
Oh, interesting question. Are there some people or earthbound spirits without souls?
I believe personally that every living person has got a soul, a spirit, whatever you want to refer to that. And I would think that aliens do too. But again, I've never been around a dead alien, so I don't know.
I'm laughing because back to the whole dinosaur goes. Patrick says, I would so love a story about Marianne being chased by a T-Rex.
No, good luck with that one. He'd catch me because I don't move very fast.
Let's see. What time are we at? We've been rambling. Oh, we're after 11. Let's see. If there's any more questions, we have comments about traveling, and like Amy says, if you want to see something else, astral project to the Antarctica. That's where all the underground secrets are.
I think there may be something, even though, and I don't know if it was movies or what, but there was a theory a long time ago that in the core of the earth, that there is civilization in the core of the earth. And that sometimes they venture out into come up and out. I don't think I've ever seen anybody like that either.
Well, I think a lot of the native traditions talk of like alien races, especially like tall ant-like people that live in the core. And I've always wondered if it's really the core or if it's like another type of dimension, so not necessarily inside, but it looks
right,
like
but or parallel dimension. Yeah, exactly. That's what I think too.
I think it was the I Love Science page, but there's another word in there on Facebook, the I Can Love Science page. There was a science article within the last week about science and testing parallel worlds, and like how they're starting to say like we can see the edges and we're brushing up against them. And I started to read it, but I'm a visual and hands-on learner, so that was blah, 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 blah. Like show me pictures or a video and then I can grasp it more. But it was still kind of interesting that like science is finally catching up to some of us woo-woo folk and validating.
So many people that have so many questions about woo-woo that somebody had to start doing something.
Mm-hmm. There was that other, and it's been years since they've done this one, but how like when we meditate, like you can create from your thought, and now like science had that little particle, and I forget what they called it, but like it exists only when you look or think about it, otherwise it would disappear. So they actually had it like under a microscope, and they would record when the scientists would look at the screen, it was there, but the minute they would look away, it was gone. So, it kind of comes down to like your car, like my car in the driveway is existing right now because I'm thinking about it. But when I wasn't even thinking, like that Durango disappeared. It's more in depth than that, but it really was like you expect it to be there. You're consciously creating it, so it's there. But then, of course, my mind went, but like everybody else, who outcreates the other person?
That's it. Why can't you create, $1 million $1 bills sitting on your dining room table and keep staring at them while you collect them?
Right.
And you got them in your hand then. So what happens? Are they gone?
Right. So it's, I'm like, we're starting to get there, so, and that could also be like I don't know if we can only create with it a set boundary of rules, maybe in this existence. Like, that's why not everybody can be rich. But then you've got the other side that says there's abundance for everybody. And how do you see your abundance? Does it have to be paper money, or is it just, So, yeah, it's fun and exciting. At least for me. Okay, so the double slit experiment on particle physics, that might be kind of like what I was talking about, the double slit experiment. So I'm gonna have to go look that up. Thank you, Patrick. So speaking of, or going back to our Zooms, we have 3 in August. We have Friday the 13th. And right before we started this, I was checking. We had 4 spots left for that one. Then we have Monday the 23rd and Monday the 30th. And those ones are a little more open.
The 23rd is a full moon the day before. So good information will be on the 23rd for sure.
Right. So if you think that you might have any earthbound spirits in your house and you want a quick and easy answer of yes, you do, or no, you don't, or if you want to know if you have a portal, if you have negative energy on you, that is where you can sign up. It's $20. We do limit it to people. We're down to 25 instead of 30, trying to kind of get the evening to go a little quicker so everybody's not waiting for hours. But you'll get your answer. So you log in, you turn your camera on. Marianne can see, even if you're sitting in front of a white wall like I am, she can see through the whole house and let you know what's going on.
And on Sunday, the 22nd of August, we'll be in the store. And it'll be a book signing, meet and greet. All the product from the store will be there from about 4 to 6. And then after that, the store closes and there'll be a talk for another hour and a half, 2 hours after that. And
yeah,
nobody under 18 for the talk. Obviously, you can bring kids, during the day or in meet and greet, but for the talk, nobody under 18, but we haven't had one. I'm happy that I'm finally going to be able to talk to people face to face. That's really good.
True. If you're local and you want to get seeds and then maybe get on the Zoom and, have Marianne make sure your house is clear to be able to put them up, come during that meet and greet, because Marianne, you'll have your seeds there at the store. Yeah. We'll have books and stuff, so you can pick all that up, get them signed. But definitely come get your seeds. And then when you get on the Zoom, just like we had this last one, if your house is clear, you can literally go tape them up and be done. You don't have to worry about it. Right. But people could also, could they get a hold of you and buy seeds and have them mailed and then get on the Zoom and say?
You have to go through the store to do that.
Yeah. So MarianneWinkowski.com.
Right. It says now, just I have to clarify this and remind me to do it on the Zooms too. It says on the line for long out-of-state calls that at this time I'm not taking any new out-of-state calls. It just stresses me out looking at these notebooks of all these people I have to call back. So it's not going to happen. So, however, if I've talked to you on Zoom, you can leave a message. I will call you back from out of state. It's the new calls that I'm not taking from out of state right now.
So my store, Goddess Elite, we're in North Olmsted. So I'm not sure where Marysville is, but I go to work, I come home, I go to work, I come home, I go to work, I come home.
Marysville, where the ladies' prison is. Is that what you asked, Marysville?
Yeah, well, no, Amy said, what store? I'm at Marysville. So I was telling her.
Okay.
Did we ever decide if you could pick up on the wee folk during the Zoom? Did we think to check that?
No, I don't know if I don't think I've ever, I think I blamed today that some of those things have to be stolen by wee folk, and I don't know if I've ever picked up on any alien, because if somebody has alien problems, I can usually hear a really high pitched noise. And I've never heard that on Zoom either, so I don't know. Maybe nobody's been on that's had it.
Now I'm thinking, darn, I wish that one night I would have Zoomed you real quick. I'm like, that noise.
Yeah, exactly right. Exactly right.
Yep. I am on work release. They let me out on Wednesdays. I run away every Wednesday and I hide. Right. Let's see. Oh, and Amy, given some validation on the seeds and how well they work. Worked at Warner Brothers lots and put the seed on her bracelet and worked like a charm.
Amazing how it works. It's absolutely amazing.
Okay, so there is the link there on the screen to sign up. We got kind of sidetracked. To sign up for any of the Zooms. That link will work for all of them until we quit doing them. So it's a nice, easy link. Once you use it once, you can always get to it. And you can pick the day and the time. But we have 3 in August. We haven't done September dates yet because we're waiting for August to fill, and it's not even August yet. Though this year is flying by.
How fast it's going.
Like, where did it go? All right, Lewis, our buddy, we love you. Everybody's hoping they get to see you at some point on a Zoom. Don't make us come over there and kidnap you. I found my passport. I can hop. Miriam, you got a passport? Does Ted have a passport?
Yeah, we do actually.
Aha, we will come get you. Now, are all loud pitch noises, are they all definitely alien? Could it be something else?
No. This is such a unique, different sound. It's almost a decibel down from hearing, when chalk, oh, I just got the chills. When chalk is on a chalkboard, how you can hear that screech that it makes sometimes? Or if it's almost high pitched like that. It's very distinct, very distinct. And it doesn't come in bursts. It's solid stream.
Mm-hmm. And I'm sure that's what I heard, and it almost sounded like a high pitch, like metal scraping on metal.
Right.
Because we do have a granary like right across the way here. You can almost, if you had a good arm, you could throw a ball or a rock and hit the building. And I remember thinking it was like pitch black, middle of the night. I'm like, what are they doing over there? And then it just stopped. There was no tone down, wind down, fade out, gone.
It's not a constant. It'll go for maybe 30 seconds, and then maybe there won't be again until 4 or 5 minutes, and then it'll come again. It's almost, but all of these houses that have this noise either have a probe in the yard, or there is a human in the house that has a probe on their body somewhere. I almost think it's some kind of tracking device. That's what I don't know what else to call it, but it has to be something that they can zero in on people.
Right. No, not a squeak. Like, it's loud, and it's one of those things, like, I would have expected all the lights in the houses to go on, like the whole town should have heard this. But I woke up hearing it.
It's only if you've got it. You're the only one that'll hear it.
Yeah.
And there's some people that don't hear it at all, even though they've got it. And that's why with the Zoom, the people I can only hear them when they're actually talking. They're muted otherwise. So if they've got it coming in and out, if the mute isn't off, I wouldn't know.
Because we can't leave that many people unmuted.
No, because everybody talks.
Yeah, somebody's talking in the background. There's a dog barking. There's a baby crying. It's just
right.
This is an interesting thing. Now I'm going to have to start. Well, I only ever heard it that one time, and it didn't dawn on me for like a day or two before I'm like, oh, I wonder if that's what it is. And that's when I got a hold of you. And I guess there was still enough that you could kind of pick up on.
Oh, yeah, right.
But since then, nothing. And before then, nothing. So weird. I blame my trip to Tucson.
Big open countries like that. And that is why Lorain County is one of the counties that I see a lot of alien stuff in. Lorain County.
Oh, the country cornfields.
Yes. How many of you read Children of the Corn? Yes, indeed.
So website. Sarah, I'm not sure what you're meaning. Are you trying to get a copy of one of Marianne's books? Marianne, you have your books on your website, right?
I do. And they're all on Amazon too.
Sorry, reach out to the business itself. I'm not sure what you mean.
I don't know what that means. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll check the site, but I'm sure it wouldn't necessarily come up to that. So you have them on your site. I don't know if I have your books listed on my website, just because like when I work with you, you have them on your site and I carry them in the store, but we can always work around with that. Southern California, all the UFOs.
I got to say, I just have to consider the state.
Yeah.
California has everything.
Oh, no, I went to the... no, you got to go to Gotta See Lead, and that link works because we just had people sign up. So you're not going to get that message at all. That link works just fine. And apparently Australia is pretty haunted. When she goes to the haunted places, she tells the ghosts that they have to stay there, can't come with her. Now, do they really listen to that when you tell them not to come?
No, it's like the little cartoon that said this big ray of sun looking down. God's laughing at your plan for the day. No, it's not going to help. It's like, oh yes, they see me. I'm going home with them. That's why you're better off ignoring them.
Right. Because I mean, really, they know they can go wherever they want, and you can't see them. You're kind of talking to the air, right? So,
right.
Really know.
Tonight's YouTube that I'll be doing at 5:30 is pretty interesting. I got a really creepy picture I'm going to be showing about a ghost that's in a fire. It's pretty creepy. I mean, it's really obvious. So that'll be a good one at 5:30 today.
I still want to get a hold of that one, the book where you were like, I meant to bring it to the merry-go-round so you could point out to me like the actual ghost and him holding something.
Yes, I had that picture with me and I forgot. Well, you had the books and you didn't give them to me.
Right. I had them sitting right next to my keys and I still walked out without them. I was so mad at myself. Sometimes I'm like, maybe I am half of where my son's ADD comes from. Because I'll have it in my hand and still forget to grab the darn thing. And let's see, I have a incognito browser open, testing the link, and it works just fine. So no worries, everybody. Link's fine. You're not going to get an error message. Let's see. All right, Pat, we already answered your question about if a ghost doesn't cross over. So, Marianne, do you have any last minute things for the day since it's already almost 11:30?
Yeah, no, I think we're good.
We went a long time today.
Yeah, we'll just we'll do it again next Wednesday.
There we go. All right, everybody. So if you want to join us on Zoom, there is the link, or you can go to goddesselite.com, go to the events tab and click haunted events. It does work. I just opened up a incognito browser and tested it. It's just fine. You can get to pick the day that you would like to join us. We do limit it. It is $20, but you get your answer right then and there. Because Marianne, you are weeks, months behind on phone calls. So Zoom is a much better, quicker way to get your answer.
Get an answer and you'll get suggestions on different things you can try. And from repeats on Zoom, it's working, which is no matter what state you're in, it seems to be working. So that's good.
There we go. And we are kind of looking for places to do our next live event. But we're also kind of waiting to see what goes on with the Delta variant. just to make sure we don't want to get trapped in the reschedules. So right now,
I'll bet we'll be all in masks next month again. We can see it happening.
Don't you cuss at me.
I don't want to, but
But so yeah, the next live, and I say that with quotation because it's the meet and greet, and it's still fun. You get to come see Marianne, but we're not going to be
all
ghost
kinds of questions. Bring your pictures. Let me see what you're talking. Yeah, no.
And Patrick is still shooting for Philly. Yeah, we're that's on my list. So is Toledo, a couple places right up in the entry southern part of Michigan. There's some cool places there, in Ohio, but it's just kind of like waiting to see what goes on. I don't want to have to get caught up in the whole reschedule. I felt horrible for everybody who had paid for like antlers in the merry-go-round, and we had to keep rescheduling it. And I'm just like, oh my God, I feel like one of those shady event coordinators where I have your money, but I never produced the event. But what can you do? And thank you for everybody that hung in there with us, and we finally got to do it. So I'm still scoping out and sending inquiries to see if any places are interested. And as soon as it's safe to do so, we will definitely do it. And I have kind of considered, where is it? It just bumped up on me. Mansfield Prison.
It will not be an overnighter. I will tell you that. I'm not going there, but it would be nice to have a talk, and I know they let you go around wherever you want to go, so that's pretty good.
Right. And I was there a couple months ago for a paranormal convention, and it seems like they've done some work since when you and I were there for the books years ago. So I was like, did you say Toledo? Happy face, Eastern State Pen. So there's we're definitely investigating around. So as soon as we can, we'll be doing some hunts live. But thank you for joining us, everybody. We'll be back next week, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. The Zooms are 7:30 p.m. I'm sorry, 7:30 time. Yes, so you can be from anywhere and join us. We love friends from all over the place. Just make sure you do your time change calculation. Oh, Lornell wants us to come to the Philippines. We do have passports.
We do, and I've actually done work for people in the Philippines.
So hey, and Savannah, Georgia. Come to
Georgia again.
Yes. All right, everybody. Well, yeah, Patrick's like, it's almost 11.
Have a good week, everybody.
We'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.